Welcome to EduTab. So as part of this particular lecture, we shall discuss important questions and announcements related to agriculture taken from Union Budget 2018-19. Now friends, this is part 2. Yesterday we had a discussion in part 1 and these are relevant for IBPS AFO 2018-19 examination. Now on AFO courses, we are running a 50% off. You can use the code SALE50 to avail the same. Now friends, in this particular video, let us discuss questions 11 to 20. Let us discuss question number 11. It says, which of the following is the amount that has been allocated for the Pradhan Mantri Kisan Sampada Yojana in the Union Budget 2018-19? So basically the budget estimates 2018-19 has been asked. So the answer to this question is 1313 crore. So kindly memorize this figure. Now friends, it is very important for us to know the important points regarding Pradhan Mantri Kisan Sampada Yojana. In the previous video where we had a discussion regarding questions numbered from 1 to 10, we saw some of the important features of this particular scheme. This is a very important scheme when it comes to the food processing industry. So kindly go to the MCQ budget document and see the detailed explanation. Now let us discuss question number 12. It says, as announced in the Union Budget 2018-19 under Prime Minister Krishi Sinchai Yojana, Har Khet Ko Pani, 96 deprived irrigation districts will be taken up with an allocation of how much amount. So basically they're not asking the entire allocation, but the allocation made for specifically 96 deprived irrigation districts. So the allocation for this stands to be rupees 2,600 crore. So kindly keep this data in mind. Now friends, it is very important for us to know the salient features of this particular scheme. This is a very important scheme in the agriculture sector, Pradhan Mantri Krishi Sinchai Yojana. Now, it is very important for us to keep in mind the salient features of this scheme. So what are the things that are important? We need to know the launch date, that is July 1st, 2015, and this scheme was formulated by amalgamating the ongoing schemes. So please keep in mind those schemes that were amalgamated to form Pradhan Mantri Krishi Sinchai Yojana, right? So those were Accelerated Irrigation Benefit Program, AIBP of the Ministry of Water Resources, River Development and Ganga Rejuvenation, Integrated Watershed Management Program of the Department of Land Resources, and On-Farm Water Management of Department of Agriculture and Cooperation. So when you're approaching a particular scheme, kindly note down the approval date or the launch date, and if it is a scheme which has been formulated by clubbing or amalgamating previous schemes, you need to keep in mind the names of those previous schemes as well, and then who are the beneficiaries, how is it being implemented, and etc. So kindly go through the MCQ document for a detailed explanation. Now let us move on to the 13th question. It says, what has been the allocation for the scheme Pradhan Mantri Krishi Sinchai Yojana that has been made in the Union Budget 2018-19? It's a very direct question regarding budgetary allocation. The answer to this question is 9,429 crores. So kindly keep this figure in mind from the point of view of examination. Moving on to the next question, it says, as announced in the Union Budget 2018-19 under the Pradhan Mantri Awas Yojana, the government has set a target to build how many houses in the rural areas in the year 2018-19? So the answer is 51 lakh houses. Now friends, just don't stop with knowing the number of houses that has been announced as part of the Union Budget 2018-19. It is very important for us to know the features of this particular scheme, that is Pradhan Mantri Awas Yojana. So basically there are two components of the scheme. One caters to the rural areas and the other to the urban. So it is Pradhan Mantri Awas Yojana Gramin and as well as Pradhan Mantri Awas Yojana Urban. So even it is important for us to know the background of this particular scheme. So kindly go through the MCQ document where we have given the genesis of this particular scheme as well. Now let us discuss question number 15. It says in the Union Budget 2018-19, the beneficiaries under the Pradhan Mantri Ujjwala scheme has been increased from 5 crores to how much? So the answer to this question is 8 crore. So friends, this is a very important announcement regarding the updation that has been made in this particular scheme. Now, it is not only important for us to know this important change that has been made, but also the salient features of this scheme need to be kept in mind. So kindly go through the budget document for the salient features of this particular scheme. Now let us have a look at few points that you can keep in mind. The first thing is, when was this particular scheme launched? So it was launched on May 1st, 2016. So kindly note this point. This is the first important point that needs to be noted. Next, this scheme belongs to which ministry? The ministry is the Ministry of Petroleum and Natural Gas. The second thing, kindly note this one. Third thing, the scheme would provide financial support of rupees 1600 for each cooking gas connection to eligible households. Then the next important point is, the connections would be given in the name of the women heads of households. So this is again a very important point to be noted. Right? So kindly go through the MCQ document and see the detailed explanation. Now let us discuss question number 16. It says in the Union Budget 2018-19, the government has announced a scheme to convert the cattle dung and solid waste in farms to compost, biogas and bio-CNG. So what is the name of this particular scheme that has been launched in 2018-19 Union Budget? The answer is very simple. Just memorize the name of the scheme. It is nothing but Gobardhan Scheme. Now let us see the full form of it. It is Galvanizing Organic Bio-Agro Resources Dhan. Kindly memorize this. Now coming to question number 17, it says in the Union Budget 2018-19, the allocation of National Rural Livelihood Mission has been substantially increased to how much? So basically the answer to this is rupees 5,750 crore. It is a huge allocation that has been made towards this particular scheme. Now let us see the salient features of this scheme. So basically the background is, it was previously called the Swan Jayanti Gram Swarozgar Yojana, right? It is a scheme of the Ministry of Rural Development. Kindly note this point. So it was started in the year 1999 and it was restructured in the year 2010-11 as Ajivika, the National Rural Livelihoods Mission. So these are important facts that you need to keep in mind. The first thing, what was it previously called? It comes under which ministry? In which year did it start? When was it restructured? What is the new name that it was given? That was given to it. Then in November 2015, the program was again renamed as Deen Dayal Antyodaya Yojana. So kindly keep these important points in mind. So to get more details about the scheme, kindly go to the MCQ budget document and read the salient features. Now coming to question number 18, it says in January 2018 at the Transformation of Aspirational Districts Conference, Niti Aayog has announced that by April 2018, it will rank the aspirational districts of the nation selected by the Union government earlier in November 2017. So basically it is saying that in November 2017, the Union government had selected certain aspirational districts. Now Niti Aayog is saying that it would rank those districts on certain parameters, right? So what is the question? The question says, how many backward districts were selected by the Union government for transformation? So the answer is direct. It is 115 backward districts. So the government is planning to select these 115 backward districts and transform them on various parameters. Now friends, why is this particular question important? In the Union Budget 2018-19, there was a mention that was being made regarding 115 backward districts. So basically, it is important for us to know the number of such districts that have been taken up by the government for transformation and the further developments that takes place in this regard. So further information can be found in the MCQ budget document. So kindly go through that line by line. Now let us have a look at the 19th one. It says, in which of the following years was a Saubhagya scheme launched by the government? So the answer is pretty simple. The answer is 2017. Friends, kindly make sure that you are aware of the various features and targets of this particular scheme. Now let us have a look at some of the important points regarding this Saubhagya scheme. First thing, it stands for Sahaj Bijli Har Ghar Yojana. When was it launched? On September 25th, 2017. What was the initial outlay of this particular scheme? Who are the beneficiaries? How are they identified? Which is the nodal agency for the implementation of this particular scheme throughout the country? How many households would be targeted and by what date would they be targeted? Right? So kindly keep these important points in mind. Now let us have a look at question number 20. It says, which of the following programs helps to empower women in agriculture by making systematic investments to enhance their participation and productivity, as also create and sustain agriculture-based livelihoods of rural women? The answer to this question is MKSP. So it is Mahila Kisan Sashактикаран Pariyojana. So basically, friends, there's one more thing that you need to keep in mind, that usually the options would not contain the full forms. So you need to know that even if you get abbreviations, you should know the name of the scheme. So the answer to this question is MKSP. Now this program basically empowers women in agriculture. So it also helps in the formation of self-help groups so that agriculture as well as the livelihoods of rural women can be sustained. So friends, with this we have come to the end of this video where we have discussed questions number 11 to 20. It is advised that you refer the Union Budget 2018-19 MCQs document in detail. There are wonderful explanations given at the end of each question. So kindly go through them. Till then friends, thank you and happy learning.